Welcome back, everyone, to Senior Care Insights. You know us, we love diving deep into the things that really matter for healthy aging. And today, we're tackling something pretty essential, muscle strength.
Absolutely. We're going to explore 10 specific food groups that can make a real difference in maintaining and even building muscle as we get older.
It's so important because so many people think losing muscle is just an inevitable part of aging, like it's just something we have to accept.
Right, but it's really not. Nutrition plays a huge role here. There are things we can do, very specific things, to support muscle health.
Exactly, and we're going to unpack all of that today. 10 key food groups that can really have an impact. So let's get right into it. First up, Greek yogurt. What makes it so special for our models?
Well, for one thing, it's got a lot more protein than regular yogurt. You're looking at around 15 to 20 grams of protein in just a 6-ounce serving.
Okay, so that's a good start. More protein.
Okay.
But I also remember reading about a specific type of protein in Greek yogurt that's particularly helpful overnight. Something about like preventing muscle breakdown while we sleep.
Yeah, that's the casein protein. It digests really slowly. Think of it like a time release capsule for your muscles, steadily providing amino acids throughout the night.
Oh, I see. So even when we're not eating, those muscles are still getting what they need.
Precisely. And there's actually some research out there suggesting that those long overnight fasts can actually lead to more muscle loss. So having that slow, steady release of amino acids from casein can really help counteract that.
Wow, that's amazing. So it's like our muscles are getting fed even while we're sleeping.
Yeah, you could say that. And it's not just protein either. Greek yogurt is also a good source of calcium, vitamin D, and phosphorus, all really important for muscle function.
Right. We always hear about those for strong bones, but they're important for muscles too.
Exactly. They all work together. And there's been studies that have actually linked these nutrients, calcium, vitamin D, and phosphorus, to a lower risk of fractures, which is especially important as we age.
Right, because falls can be so devastating. They're all connected. Strong muscles, strong bones, less risk of falling.
Exactly. And then there's another great thing about Greek yogurt. It's got probiotics, those good bacteria that are so important for our gut health.
Oh yeah, the gut microbiome. Everyone's talking about that these days.
And for good reason. A healthy gut plays a huge role in how well our body absorbs nutrients from food, including protein. And it can also help reduce inflammation throughout the body, which is also good for muscle health.
So it's like a win-win situation. Greek yogurt is good for our muscles and our gut.
Exactly. It's a multitasker. And the best part is it's pretty easy to incorporate into our diets.
That's true. So what should we look for when choosing Greek yogurt? And how often should we be eating it?
Well, I always recommend going for the plain full fat varieties. The flavored ones can have a lot of added sugar. You can always add your own fruit or honey if you want to sweeten it up. And as far as how often, I'd say aim for 3 or 4 times a week, especially as an evening snack. It's a great way to give your muscles that extra boost of protein before you go to sleep.
Okay, that's good advice. Greek yogurt check.
Mm.
So let's move on to our next muscle-friendly food. Fatty fish. I know we always hear about omega-3s, but how do they actually help our muscles as we get older?
Well, fatty fish like salmon, mackerel, sardines, they're packed with protein, of course, but the real magic is in those omega-3 fatty acids, specifically EPA and DHA.
Those are the ones that are good for our hearts, right?
Yes, but they're also incredibly beneficial for muscle health. Research has shown that omega-3s can actually reduce the inflammation that tends to increase as we age, and inflammation can accelerate muscle breakdown.
Oh, so it's not just about giving our muscles the building blocks, but also about preventing things that break them down.
Exactly. It's a two-pronged approach. And here's the really interesting thing. Omega-3s can also make your muscles more sensitive to the protein you eat. So they're not just protecting your muscles, they're also helping them use protein more effectively.
Wow, that's fascinating. It's like they're boosting the signal so our muscles are more receptive to the protein.
That's a great way to put it. And as if that wasn't enough, fatty fish are also often high in vitamin D, which is another key player in muscle function. And a lot of seniors don't get enough vitamin D.
That's true. We don't get as much sun exposure as we get older, and our skin doesn't produce as much vitamin D.
Right, so it's important to get it from our diet. And fatty fish is a great source. In fact, studies have linked adequate vitamin D levels to better grip strength in older adults.
Grip strength that's so important for everyday tasks, like opening jars, carrying groceries, even just getting up from a chair.
Exactly. It's a good indicator of overall muscle health and functional strength.
So how much fatty fish should we aim for each week?
At least 2 servings. And when you can, choose wild-caught varieties. They tend to have higher levels of omega-3s.
Hmm.
And if you're finding it hard to get enough fish in your diet, you can always talk to your doctor about fish oil supplements.
Okay, good advice. So we've got Greek yogurt, we've got fatty fish. Let's move on to another kitchen staple, eggs. Why are they so good for our muscles?
Well, eggs are a fantastic source of protein, of course. About 6 grams of protein in one large egg. And it's high-quality protein, meaning it contains all the essential amino acids our bodies need.
Right. And I remember reading something about the yolk being particularly important.
Yes, for a long time, people focused on egg whites for protein. But the yolk actually contains nearly half the protein of the whole egg. Plus, it's got other important nutrients like choline, vitamin D, and leucine.
Leucine. We've heard that word before. What's so special about leucine?
Leucine is an amino acid that plays a crucial role in muscle protein synthesis. That's the process of building and repairing muscle tissue. It's like a signal that tells your muscles to start growing.
So it's like a muscle building trigger.
Exactly. And research has shown that eating whole eggs actually leads to greater muscle protein synthesis than just eating egg whites.
Wow. So we don't need to be afraid of the yolk anymore.
Not at all. The concerns about cholesterol in eggs have largely been debunked. For most healthy adults, eating eggs doesn't seem to negatively impact cholesterol levels.
That's good to hear. So how many eggs should we be eating?
I'd say 1 to 2 eggs a day is a good target. They're super versatile. You can have them for breakfast, of course, but they also make a great snack.
All right. So we've got Greek yogurt, fatty fish, eggs. What's next on our list of muscle boosting foods?
Nuts and seeds, they're little nutritional powerhouses, packed with plant-based protein, healthy fats, and all sorts of important vitamins and minerals.
I love nuts and seeds, but I always think of them as more of a snack food. How do they actually contribute to muscle health?
Well, different nuts and seeds offer different benefits. For example, almonds are a good source of magnesium, which is crucial for muscle contraction. And walnuts contain ALA, a plant-based omega-3 fatty acid that can help reduce inflammation.
Oh, so it's like getting those omega-3s from fish, but from a plant source.
Exactly. And pumpkin seeds are a good source of zinc, which supports testosterone production.
Testosterone. Isn't that more important for men?
Well, it's important for women too, though, in smaller amounts. Testosterone plays a role in muscle maintenance for everyone, regardless of gender. And then there's vitamin E, which is a powerful antioxidant. Many nuts and seeds are good sources of vitamin E.
Antioxidants. We hear that word a lot. What exactly do they do?
Antioxidants help protect our cells from damage caused by free radicals. Think of free radicals like little wrecking balls that can damage our cells, including muscle cells. And as we age, we tend to accumulate more free radical damage.
Oh, so antioxidants are like our body's defense system against those wrecking balls.
Precisely. And vitamin E is a particularly important antioxidant for muscle health. It helps protect muscle cell membranes from damage.
So nuts and seeds, they're providing protein, healthy fats, minerals, and antioxidants. Quite a package for such small foods.
I know, right? They're little tower houses. I recommend aiming for about 1 to 2 ounces of mixed nuts and seeds per day. Just be mindful of portion sizes as they can be calorie dense.
Good point. Okay, what's next on our list?
Let's talk about beans and legumes. They're often overlooked when it comes to muscle health, but they're really valuable.
I love beans and lentils. They're so versatile. But how do they specifically benefit our muscles?
Well, they do provide a decent amount of protein, about 15 grams per cooked cup, but their real superpower lies in something called resistant starch. It's a type of carbohydrate that acts as food for the beneficial bacteria in our gut.
Ah, the gut microbiome again. So it's that connection between gut health and muscle health that we talked about earlier.
Exactly. When our gut bacteria are happy and thriving, they produce compounds that can actually reduce inflammation throughout the body. And as we know, inflammation is a major contributor to muscle breakdown.
So eating beans and legumes is like feeding our gut bacteria, which then helps protect our muscles.
That's a great way to put it. And on top of that, beans and legumes are also good sources of potassium, magnesium, and iron, all of which are important for muscle function.
Iron especially is something we hear a lot about seniors needing to be mindful of.
Yeah, iron deficiency is fairly common in older adults, and it can lead to fatigue and muscle weakness. So getting enough iron from our diet is crucial.
So how often should we be eating beans and legumes?
I'd aim for at least 3 or 4 servings per week. You can add them to soups, stews, salads, you name it.
Lots of options. Okay, what else have we got?
Let's talk about leafy green vegetables. They're packed with nutrients, including ones that are particularly beneficial for our muscles.
Leafy greens,
Ah,
like spinach, kale, collard greens.
exactly. Now, they might not be the first thing that comes to mind when you think of muscle building foods, but they actually contain compounds called nitrates, which can improve blood flow to muscles.
Nitrates, aren't those like a bad thing? I thought they were in processed meats.
They are found in processed meats, but in leafy greens, they're naturally occurring and they come with a whole host of other benefits. Our bodies convert nitrates into nitric oxide, which is a molecule that helps relax and widen blood vessels.
Oh, so it's like a natural vasodilator?
Precisely. And when blood flow to our muscles is improved, they receive more oxygen and nutrients, which can enhance their function and recovery.
That makes sense. So it's not just about the nutrients in the leafy greens themselves, but also about how they help those nutrients get to our muscles more efficiently.
Exactly. And on top of that, leafy greens are also good sources of calcium, magnesium, and potassium, all of which are essential for muscle contraction.
We keep hearing about those minerals. They seem to be in a lot of these muscle-boosting foods.
They are, and there's a reason for that. They really are crucial for muscle health. And leafy greens also provide vitamin K, which is increasingly being recognized for its role in muscle function.
So it's a multi-pronged approach again, improving blood flow, providing essential minerals, and offering this vitamin K that supports muscle function.
Exactly. Aim for at least 2 cups of leafy greens per day. You can add them to smoothies, salads, soups, stir fries, really anything you can think of.
I love a good green smoothie. Okay, we're making good progress here. What's next?
Let's move on to olive oil. Now, olive oil isn't a protein source, but it contains compounds that can really help protect our muscles as we age.
Olive oil. I always think of it as being good for my heart. But how does it help our muscles?
Well, one of the key compounds in olive oil is oleocanthal, which has anti-inflammatory properties. It actually works in a similar way to ibuprofen.
So it's like a natural anti-inflammatory.
Exactly. And as we've discussed, chronic inflammation can really take a toll on our muscles. So anything we can do to reduce inflammation is a good thing.
That's true. And I know olive oil is also a good source of monounsaturated fats, which are considered healthy fats.
Right. And those monounsaturated fats can actually help improve insulin sensitivity.
Hmm.
And that's important because insulin resistance can make it harder for our muscles to use protein effectively.
Oh, I see. So it's not just about reducing inflammation, but also about helping our muscles use protein more efficiently.
Exactly. And olive oil is also packed with antioxidants, which help protect our cells from damage.
So it's like a triple threat: anti-inflammatory, insulin sensitizing, and antioxidant property.
Exactly. And research has shown that people who regularly consume olive oil as part of a Mediterranean-style diet tend to have better muscle strength and are less likely to become frail as they age.
That's impressive. So how much olive oil should we be using?
I'd aim for about 2 to 3 tablespoons per day. Use it for salad dressings, drizzle it over cooked vegetables, or use it for light sautéing.
Okay, good to know. We're getting close to the end of our list. What's next?
Berries. They might not seem like muscle-building foods, but they're incredibly rich in antioxidants.
Berries. I love berries. But how do antioxidants help our muscles?
Well, as we age, our muscles become more vulnerable to damage from free radicals. Remember those little wrecking balls we talked about earlier? Antioxidants help neutralize those free radicals, protecting our cells from damage.
So it's like berries are little shields for our muscles.
That's a great analogy. And berries are particularly high in a type of antioxidant called anthocyanins, which have been shown to be especially beneficial for muscle health.
Oh, interesting. So it's not just any antioxidants, it's specific types that are particularly good for our muscles.
Right. And berries also help manage inflammation, which we know is important for preserving muscle mass.
So they're reducing damage from free radicals
Mm.
and helping to keep inflammation in check.
Exactly. And on top of that, berries also contain vitamin C, which is important for collagen production. Collagen helps keep the connective tissues around our muscles strong and healthy.
Oh, so it's not just about the muscle fibers themselves, but also about the surrounding structures.
Exactly. It's all connected. Aim for at least 1 cup of berries per day. You can have them fresh or frozen, whichever you prefer.
Okay, great. We're down to our last two foods. What's next?
Lean beef. It's a classic source of protein, but it's also a powerhouse when it comes to muscle health.
Beef. No get the bad rap sometimes, but I do enjoy a good steak now and then. What makes lean beef so good for our muscles?
Well, it provides high-quality protein, of course, about 25 grams of protein in a 4-ounce serving, But it's also a rich source of leucine, that amino acid we talked about earlier that's so important for muscle protein synthesis.
Oh, right. Leucine. It's like the muscle building trigger.
Exactly. And as we age, our muscles can become a bit less sensitive to leucine, so we might need to consume more of it to get the same muscle building benefits.
So lean beef is a good way to ensure we're getting enough of that crucial amino acid.
Exactly. And lean beef also contains creatine, which is a compound that helps our muscles store energy.
Creatine. I've heard athletes talk about that.
Right, creatine is often used as a supplement by athletes to enhance performance, but it's naturally found in beef, and it can be particularly beneficial for older adults, as our natural creatine levels tend to decline with age.
So it's giving our muscles an extra energy boost.
Precisely. And beef is also a good source of iron, zinc, and B vitamins, all of which play important roles in muscle function and energy production.
It's like a one-stop shop for muscle-supporting nutrients.
You could say that. When choosing beef, opt for lean cuts like sirloin, tenderloin, or round, and aim for about 4 to 6 ounces, 2 to 3 times per week.
Got it. Okay, last but not least, we have whey protein. Why is it considered the muscle rebuilding king?
Whey protein is a complete protein that comes from milk, and it has the highest concentration of leucine of any natural food.
Leucine again. That seems to be a recurring theme.
It is. Leucine is really that important for muscle health, especially as we age. And what makes whey protein so special is that it's very quickly digested and absorbed by the body. So those amino acids, including leucine, get into our bloodstream quickly and are readily available for muscle protein synthesis.
So like a fast-track delivery system for muscle building blocks.
That's a great way to put it. And research has shown that whey protein can be even more effective than other types of protein at stimulating muscle protein synthesis in older adults.
Wow, that's impressive. It sounds like a really powerful tool for preserving muscle mass.
It is. And beyond its protein content, whey protein also contains compounds that have been shown to improve blood flow, enhance insulin sensitivity, and reduce inflammation.
It's like it's hitting all the key points we've been talking about.
It is. It's a really remarkable source of nutrients for muscle health. And studies have shown that supplementing with whey protein can lead to improvements in muscle strength, physical performance, and even balance in older adults.
That's incredible. So how much whey protein should we be taking?
A common recommendation is around 20 to 30 grams per day. It's often most beneficial to take it after exercise or in the morning.
Okay, so there you have it. 10 powerful food groups that can help you maintain your muscle mass and strength as you age.
It's really empowering to know that we have so much control over our muscle health through our diet.
Absolutely. And it's not about making drastic changes overnight. It's about making gradual, sustainable changes to our eating habits.
Exactly. Start by incorporating 1 or 2 of these foods into your diet each week and see how you feel.
That's great advice. Small, consistent changes can really add up over time.
They really can. And remember, preserving muscle mass isn't just about looking good. It's about feeling good, maintaining your independence, and enjoying a higher quality of life as you age.
So if you're looking to stay strong and active as you get older, make sure you're including these 10 food groups in your diet. Your muscles will thank you. And that brings us to the end of our deep dive today.
But before you go, if you enjoyed this discussion, please give this video a like and share it with anyone else who might find it helpful.
And be sure to subscribe to Senior Care Insights and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on our future episodes. We're always exploring new topics related to healthy aging. Thanks for joining us.
And we'll see you next time. Take care.